It's been a extreme privilege and pleasure to be here, to listen to you and to learn from the grassroots of people who are actually doing the work. Let me explain who I am. I'm a senior judge on the Superior Court of the District of Columbia, which is a federal court. The President makes the appointments. So one of the unique things about that court is that when you become a senior judge, retire, you still keep the commission you can sit for the rest of your life as like a U.S. District Court judge. I'm in that category. That's what you mean by being a senior judge. So I retain my power to sit just like a United States District Court judge for the rest of my life. But Congress provided that judges who become senior judges can take a sabbatical, just like you do in a university education, and keep your judgeship, but be dean of law school, be a law professor, or head a national organization to improve the administration of justice. So in 2003, the president of the National Bar Association, that's the black lawyers and judges, asked me to become his judicial chief of staff to create a unified approach by all of the black organizations to deal with the problems of disparities in health care, deal with the deficiencies in the foster care system, juvenile justice system, to deal with substance abuse and mental health issues. And in 2004, we met in our Rayburn House office building, 9 organizations and signed what they call Memorandum of Understanding to work together much like a United Nations, speak with a unified voice on policy changes and program activities that had to be undertaken. And on April 1, 2004, the organization was born, which later was incorporated, with the National African American Drug Policy Coalition. And on that date, 9 organizations signed a pledge to work together in a unified fashion to deal with problems in this area. They included the National Bar Association, all the black lawyers and judges in America, and of course white members who want to be civil rights advocates and people achieving equality in America. It included the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, the National Caucus of Black State Legislators, the National Association of Black Social Workers, because they were concerned about the overwhelming number of black kids, African American kids, in the foster care system, and the quality of care provided for African American kids. Association of Black Psychologists. And of course, they told us that the most important age of youngsters is ages 1 to 3. Our brain expert talks about 1 to 5. But the formative ages of planting the concepts of morality and right and wrong starts when you bring the baby home, the nurturing that's required. And along with it, the National Black Nurses Association, the National Black Dentists Association. And the goal was that when we reached 15 of these organizations and got them together, we would incorporate. In 2005, we got 15 in October. But they said, slow up, Judge Burnett, you're going too fast for us, because they asked me to take a leave from the court and to be the CEO of this operation. We had a total of 23 member organizations that wanted to come together and work like the United Nations in this area. Included that was the black administrators in child welfare. And they wanted us to address some of the issues that you were talking about right now. And one of the major issues they wanted us to deal with was those aging out of the foster care system. Some around 18 years of age in some jurisdictions, some of them now age 21. But in order to prevent them from drifting into the criminal lifestyle, to give them mentors and counselors, to get them into community college and into technology and trades. So one of my major interests in being here today was to focus on with you what you're doing with youngsters when they become 18, 19, they can become adults, so they don't end up being part of our mass incarceration of blacks in prison. But along the way, We say we just don't want them into the system when they're 18. When we have foster parents who are, in fact, dealing with 13 and 14-year-old boys, we want to give you mentor counselors to work with you in the foster care system, to be guidance counselors for these youngsters. So we got a kid that's interested in engineering. We'll find a mentor in engineering who will work with that kid to excite his interest so he doesn't belong to a gang and participate in gang violence. And then finally, we have established chapters all across the country. We have 2 here in Maryland. We have a chapter in Prince George's County called Prince George's County Drug Policy Coalition. It is prepared to work with you both as the kids aging out of the system and teenagers you have in foster care right now to help you raise those kids. Get them into meaningful internship experiences. So instead of running with the gang and families in the gang, they work in the settings in which they may have the aptitude, things that make them happy. Whether they want to be artists, whether they want to be entertainers, whether they want to be engineers or scientists. We are working with companies and operations across the country that when a kid gets to be in the 8th grade, we'll give them a counselor mentor in the field he or she wants to go in. So every black kid in America today who wants to be a doctor is in a position to have a doctor assigned to him. Everyone is an engineer, everyone who wants to be an architect. In every profession, my organization has set up a system of within 72 hours of finding a counselor mentor in the field your 8th grader wants to go into. You want to be an airline pilot. I have arrangements with the ex-military air pilots, with the flying industry, black pilots of America across this entire country. So not only are we involved in policy, we are involved in creating programs and activities to decrease the number of minorities going to prison across both the juvenile justice section and the social policy, social work field, and in the foster care field. So I'm here to bring to your attention, because the white press hasn't told you about it, but we are developing a program pretty much like the Martin Luther King movement to include all of the black professional organizations working together. One of the problems of desegregation in America has been that we've been so fragmented. We don't know what each other is doing. We're not working together. We're not unified. We're fragmented. We need to unify ourselves. And we need to work together in unison, and not like a bunch of crabs pulling each other back. We need to work, you might say, together and moving forward, and not backward. Some of you may not know this. There's a case pending before the U.S. Supreme Court right now out of Texas Christian University that could be the death knell to affirmative action in this country this year. Wade Conley's view may end up becoming the constitutional position of this nation in 2013. So we're going to have to start preparing our kids when they're 3, 4, and 5 years of age, not to be reading 2 or 3 grades below grade level. I think I heard one foster parent talk about working with the kid and reading now that they're reading 2 years ahead of scale. We're going to have to do that for all of our kids. Whether black or in the foster care system, wherever they are. That's the mission of my organization. And indeed, it may surprise you, but a part of our coalition includes historic black colleges and universities. So we are working with all the black colleges and universities. So any kid that wants to be a school teacher, want to be a professor, can end up being a teaching assistant while in high school across this country. Those are the kind of programs that we are putting in operations. And in addition, the Obama administration asked me not to go back on the bench when they came in, but to stay and continue to run this organization and work with them to develop programs to solve these problems. So in addition to running this program, I serve as an advisor to about 7 different government departments and agencies of government to actually come up with creative ideas so that we're not paying $35, $40, $50,000 a year to house 2.3 million people in prison. More expensive than sending someone to a college or university. but we are making our citizens more productive from the foster care system without regard to race or nationality.